Welcome, fellow adventurers. Today on Graph Paper Architect, we have got a treat for you. TSR alumni Tim Kask, famous for the original Dungeons & Dragons, here today to have a reaction show for the Dungeons & Dragon Honor Among Thieves trailer. It's going to be a great show. How are you today, Tim?
I'm doing fine. Most people probably know me from Dragon Magazine.
That too. I was about to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was.
Too many other things, too numerous to mention, none of which did well.
Well, I beg to differ. It was great for me. Influential. Absolutely. So thank you for that. And he was the editor of Dragon Magazine, and he has a current YouTube channel where you can go and get your answers to your burning questions for Dungeons and Dragons, or probably
Curmudgeon in the Cellar.
Yes, Curmudgeon in the Cellar. And there will be links to that in the video description. He also has a Patreon site. There'll be a link to that. And he was working on Curse of the Weaver Queen, which is now fully funded. That's your latest Kickstarter, is that right?
Yep, that's right. I wrote the original and then sold it to Jared, and they fleshed it out quite nicely. And I've seen bits and pieces of it only, and I was excited. Almost as excited as the people that actually shelled out money and are waiting.
Yeah, I am. I have the shelf space right now. I'm like, let's get this. Yes.
Yeah, I know. I've done that with Kickstarters. You know, you shell out the money and go, come on. Once it was so long, I'd forgotten about it. That was a long fulfillment on that one. It's like 4.5, 5 months.
Oh wow! Yeah.
Forgotten about it. So, but I came and I was pleased. So anyway, yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, it makes a nice surprise for me. It's kind of like when I find money in my pocket. Like, what? I have this? Oh, I have more money than I thought I had. I didn't know that was money? There. I think it's that magical green paper that my wife has.
Oh, I just have a piece of plastic.
Oh yeah, anymore.
Yeah,
kind of crazy. Yeah. So, Tim, tell us a little bit about, you've got Curmudgeon in the Cellar, and you've got your Patreon, and the Patreon, that is giving us a little bit more of the background.
Well, the Patreon is at 3 levels, of course, $3, $6, and $9. Mm-hmm. I do a once a month for the 6th level. I will do a Curmudgeon Unplugged, and once a month for the highest level, I'm doing we'll start at 60 minutes and see how long it goes. Zoom Q&A session. I'll be doing once a month with the premium subscribers. So if you pay the premium, you get them both. If you pay the middle part, you get just the one. And if you just support me, thank you very much.
Excellent. And I remember that you said something about that you also will do Dungeons and Dragons games via Zoom as well.
Oh, I do. The game that I run at cons called the Wheel of Blame. I do that online. Mm-hmm. I've got a group. For instance, I've got a group in Okinawa I've run 3 times for. Ooh. And they're trying to figure out when they can do it a 4th time. Only problem with that is I have to do it at 9:30 on Sunday morning, my time. That's a little problematic. But I managed to make it each time. I've done a few others. During the lockdown pandemic, of course, the cons that I would normally go to, I was doing virtually. So yes, I do. It's very inexpensive. You go to the Curmudgeon or go to my Facebook page, contact me, and I'll go into all the details. It's basically $90 for a 4-hour session for up to 7 players, flat fee.
Wow.
So, and I can promise it's, unless you've already played in it, it's unlike anything you've ever played in before. It's D&D, but it's unlike anything you've ever played in before.
That's excellent.
I make it up on the spot.
Oh, nice. Yeah, so it's all just...
From your input, I make it up. The adventure takes place in my head about 2.5 seconds before I start talking.
That is amazing.
Completely ad lib.
Nice. Oh, I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be... So, yeah, absolutely. Want to get that... Check that out. So
get 6 of your friends together. We'll work out a time.
So 6 seats, and it's 90.
There's 7 seats.
There's 7 seats.
Yeah, 7 seats, and it's $90. Whether it's 3 guys playing or 7, same thing. It's 4 hours. If it takes that long, it seldom does. Mm-hmm. But then we generally end up BSing at the end for a while.
I can imagine with my friends, we'd probably have to bring like 3 or 4 characters each because we'll get a TPK and then we'll do it again.
No, see, I started this form of this game because my TPK rate was so high.
Mm-hmm.
I was TPKing over 80% of the people that were signing up at con games. Pardon me. And then I got cancer and kind of shifted my thinking around. And so I decided let's find a different way that we can play the same game we all love. And it's a little more fun. And so they get pre-gens, and there's whatever the number of players, there's half that many of this thing that I came up with years ago called the Universal Antidote. It puts heads back on necks, arms back on trunks, legs back on torsos. It's a con thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you paid money to play in the game and you're dead in 40 minutes, number one, you feel you're cheated. Number two, if the DM's a nice person and says you can't stay at the table,
mm-hmm.
and if you do stay at the table, you just feel like an odd thumb on the other end of the hand. You know.
Just sitting there watching everybody.
So,
yeah.
This, and I've only ever had one party not come out intact. And they went in with 4 antidotes and they had 5 deaths.
Oh.
And one of the guys used up 3 of the antidotes. He said he didn't care. He was happy with the game after the first time he died.
Oh yeah.
So it's a lot of fun. It's all about laughs.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about unpredictability. It's all about thinking on your feet. And it's all about anything is possible if you make the die roll.
Yep, that's exactly how it was. Yep.
You want to jump that chasm? Fine. Roll against your dexterity.
Yep.
You can always find one of the stat. I can anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I'll pick a stat, roll against it. If it works, it works. If it didn't, too bad.
That's exactly it. That's exactly what we would always do too. And I know, a few of those TPKs would definitely be because, the first few times we'd have to get the Steve Irwin out of our skin. If you ever saw Croc Hunter, be like, well, what does that thing look like? I'm going to poke it with a stick.
Yeah, there are some TPKs that are not the DM's fault.
No, they wouldn't be. None of them. All of our friends, we'd be like, we're going to get murdered by Tim Kask. It's going to be we would just love that.
That was happening at the conventions, which has made me switch. People were coming to see how novel a death they could have so they could go home. Oh, man. And then I got chopped into 485th and made into relish, and it was great.
Yes.
And I was constantly challenged to find better ways to chop them up and make them into relish.
Yep.
It wasn't that hard after a while.
That's exactly it. Yeah. Oh, we should probably. Oh, that gives me a great idea for a YouTube series. Total TPK with Tim Kask. How can we get dead?
Well, in my last night's video, I talked about it's the DM's fault when he throws a monster out against a party that they have absolutely no chance against. Mm-hmm. That's just not right. You don't get a bunch of 2nd, 3rd, 4th levels and let them find an old green dragon.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, hey, anybody that hasn't seen Game of Thrones and still thinks they can kill a dragon?
I know.
Oh, yeah, come on. Come to my house. I'll just give you that idea right away. And I won't even have to fudge the rules.
Nope. It's like, this is, and it breathes and you're dead.
Yeah, sorry. No.
Well, and the only time I ever did that, I would be hoping that they were going to realize and run off. It's like, well, you see this claw. It's like, maybe we should leave.
Well, Daenerys' dragons provided a lot of mental images that DMs should be using. Mm-hmm. Like, hey, remember when she got the Lannister army? Well, you're one of those guys with a shield and spear running around completely engulfed in flames.
Yeah.
You think you're going to... There is no saving throw.
Roll a constitution check. How long do you last? Is it 2 minutes or 3?
How many times do you scream before you win your vocal cords? Or before you suck in so many flames that you no longer can scream?
Yes, exactly.
Before you had to kind of imagine it, and there were really no good Yeah, until Game of Thrones, there was really no good depictions of what a dragon really is.
Yeah, I mean, we had Dragon Slayer, that was okay, and we had a few
Yeah.
things, but nothing really like
How
super
to
good.
Train Your Dragon. Oh yeah,
Yeah. How
yeah.
to train. Well, I liked the first Dragonheart with Sean Connery. That was actually
It
kind of
wasn't
decent.
bad, but
Yeah.
I've never been impressed by any of the D&D movies that have come out up to this point, including the one that came out a couple of years ago with a whole bunch of nobodies playing the roles.
Yep.
And I was so disinterested. I don't believe I've seen it all.
Probably
I
not.
probably
I
turned
mean,
it off once or twice. Watch a bit. And, oh God, this sucks.
yeah.
Yeah.
The only thing I ever remember is that because I love Jeremy Irons, and it's like, now is your time to die, or something he said, and it was like, that was cool, but
Yeah, but
But-
it wasn't cool enough to sit through the whole 90 minutes or 100 minutes or whatever it was.
Mhm.
Three great lines totaling 30 words. It's not enough for my money or my butt.
No, it's not.
No.
Yeah, no number of snacks I sneak in. Oh, I mean, buy there.
Yeah,
No,
right,
I didn't say.
right. No,
Well, let's.
I only have one snack I sneak in. I always have a giant box of Junior Mints and hidden away somewhere.
Yep. Cargo pants.
That's my movie fuel.
Yep, I do Junior Mints, or we'll have. We used to do the ice creams, the little dibs, I think they were called.
Oh yeah, those funny things. Yeah.
Yeah, they were dipped in chocolate or something, but it was good
Yeah.
stuff. Well,
Okay.
we can go ahead and get on this then. Let's go
All right.
ahead. I will pop this screen. That's the wrong button. Haha, I have finally figured out the right button.
Okay.
Yeah, we've got the trailer. Here we go.
Here's the thing. We're a team of thieves. And when you do this, you're bound to make enemies. Sometimes those enemies come looking for revenge.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I'm loving this.
Oh, that was.
And then the music.
Yep.
Truth be told,
Hasbro for having the
person
sense to
steal
pick
the
good
wrong
music.
thing.
I know.
we
Great
didn't
imagery.
unleash the greatest evil the world has ever known.
Ooh.
Great shield.
Shield. Yep.
So how do we pull
Wonderful.
that off? Figure it out over a drink?
Probably best.
Now they're going to the tavern and get some food. and cook.
You got this, right?
I know
Handing
you do.
shot.
Oh, there you go.
suplex.
18 dash.
Magic.
Electricity sword.
And you.
Oh, yeah. And a good looking lady that turns into an owlbear. My God, what more could you ask for?
Oh my gosh.
What is that again? It's an owlbear.
I love it.
Oh, that's awesome.
If you talk to anybody that's played
Behold,
in my Wheel of Blame, they've all run into
there is
owlbears.
evil here.
Oh yeah, we love the owlbears.
Sometimes they're only 10 inches tall, but they're owlbears. Who needs to know? That's right.
Nice.
This one's dangerous.
Ooh, what is this? Ooh,
I love it.
Whatever happens.
the sticky tape. What was that?
Gelatinous cubes.
We'll be ready.
What the? Dinner.
What is it exactly that you bring to this?
I'm a planner. I make plans.
You've already made the plan, so
If the existing plan fails, I make a new plan.
you make plans that fail.
No,
He also plays the lute.
not relevant.
He's Tyrion, in other words.
Yeah. There we go.
I mean, good God, what's not to like about this?
I didn't see anything I didn't like.
The pedantic picking up. Oh, a druid can't become an owlbear because it's not. Yes, it can. What a lot of the nitpickers are not taking into account is this is a Hasbro project, and they're playing 5e. Why wouldn't they play 5e? 5e sold more than all the other editions put together.
Yeah, it's exactly it. And it's like it's D&D. Why can't it be in D&D? Everything can be in D&D.
And in 5e, a druid can absolutely do that. I've seen a playing aid where a druid can absolutely do that. So, get over it. Okay, now, jumping into the gelatinous cube.
I don't know.
That one I've got a little, because
Meh.
it's going to start digesting you immediately.
Yeah, it was like instant, isn't it? As soon as you touch the thing.
Yeah, if you don't make your saving throw, you start becoming.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's like a jellyfish. I mean, if anybody, if you've ever been stung by a jellyfish. Ooh.
And so, okay. So what? It's D&D.
I know.
It's a different kind of gelatinous cube. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I could, if I was DMing and I wanted a bunch of people to be able to jump into a gelatinous cube, I can think of a dozen ways I could justify that and still be playing in the spirit of D&D.
Absolutely. The cube is already full, so it's not digesting you right away. It just had lunch.
Yeah, it's not hangry.
Yeah.
And
Hangry cube.
this is so typical of the people that want to pick apart movies for what they aren't, in their opinion, as opposed to enjoying them for what they are. I was a big Doctor Strange fan back when I was in high school. Have I read them all since? No way. Did I go see the Doctor Strange movies? You betcha. And I had a ball. I don't care if episode 180, book 183 said, I don't care. I paid my money. I sat down and said, Doctor Strange me. And they did, and I enjoyed it. The same way with the Marvel nuts and the DC nuts that got to complain about, oh, this goes against canon. Oh, I paid my money to be entertained.
Yep.
If I'm entertained, it's like I just, 4 weeks ago, went and saw the second Top Gun. Are there some technical things in there that are a little wonky? Yes. So what? It's a great movie.
Oh, it's insane.
Fun. It's entertaining. Is it going to win a handful of Academy Awards? Hell no.
Probably not. But it was huge. It was huge at the box office. Everybody's like, go see this. We went and see. Yeah, it blew us away. Because it was fun.
Yeah,
it's just freaking fun.
I thought they did a credible, story with him still being a captain after all these years. And we all know why, because he's a thorn in everybody's side. So, okay, fine. If I didn't find the story plausible, if I hadn't been in the Navy myself and understood about passed over, I don't know that I would have let it bother me.
Yep.
Now, somebody passed over as many times as he was. When I was in, he would have been retired.
Yeah,
but
eventually
he had the cachet of the 3 kills, just like I never knew a Medal of Honor winner, I've only known 3, that got shoved out of the service. They were allowed to stay in the service as long as they wanted. They got to pick their own duty. They got a big stipend every month for the rest of their life. And by God, they earned it.
Yep, absolutely.
And so, I don't understand why people go to the movies and seem to go to see what is wrong.
Yeah.
In their eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of going to see, hey, is it entertaining?
Yeah. Was it fun? Does it have, great story and good characters and good writing? I mean, it's like, yeah, sure. I don't understand it either. I've never understood people that, they go around and they go, well, this muffin is good, but it doesn't have raisins or it doesn't have chocolate chips.
It's not a raisin muffin.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. All muffins should have raisins. No, thank you. But, with this movie, I find it anticipatory because it's got some named people, some good young actors, like the young lady that plays the Druid. I've seen her in other things prior to this, and she's good. And I've seen a couple of the others in lesser roles. And of course, Hugh Grant is funny. And I happened to go watch an interview with the five thieves, one of those, just talking about it afterwards. And he's hilariously self-deprecating about the whole thing. And but even without having seen that, I saw that and said, oh, goody. When's it coming out?
Yep.
Is it necessarily the D&D that I played in 1974? No. But it still is D&D.
Yeah.
It's still fantasy. It's still improbable stunts being done because it's a game.
Yeah. And it is, because anything could be in D&D. I remember when I started in the 80s, it's like, yeah, well, now what are we going to do? Well, it was Conan, or it was Lawrence of Arabia, or it was, things that we had thought of.
Yeah.
And then we had to come up with our own stuff. It's like, oh, well, what if I did this or that? Yeah, sure. Let's go,
Well,
And
that's the big jump off for new players, whether or not they're going to stay, and a DM on whether or not he's going to stay, is whether or not he's got an idea on where we're going from here. A lot of the stuff that I used to put out in Dragon Magazine was just that, ideas. Hey, think about this, take it verbatim, modify it, but here it is. It's another element that you can put into your game, a whole new way of thinking, or that's a lot of what I did in the first years of the Dragon, was put out ideas. Here, think about this. We printed fiction to give them more mental pictures. I did an old Fritz Leiber piece. I did a Gar Fox piece. I did an El Sprague and Lynn Carter piece, just to give people more of Appendix N before there was an Appendix N.
Exactly. So we had something to reference.
Appendix N is what we were trying to do those first few years. For all those of you who hadn't read it, well, here's some more ideas. That's why we loved Judges Guild in the early days, because they were doing stuff to enrich the game that we did not have the time to do. We knew it needed to be done, and so when we licensed them and we approved everything that came out during that first several years, they were doing stuff we couldn't, and they were helping us build our market as they built a market along, with us for themselves. And a lot of it was a lot of us early companies back then in like the late 70s were helping each other. We weren't competing. We weren't trying to cut each other's throats, because we all knew that as the rising tide lifted all the boats, the pie got bigger. And our whatever our percentage of the pie had been, if it never changed, it's more pie.
Exactly. You go in and you see their product, your product, and then they're right there. You go, oh, well, while I'm here.
Because, when TSR came in the market, there were some board game companies, and there were a few figure companies that were all making historical stuff, and there were a few sets of historical rules out there. But then D&D hit, and Eon products came out with, oh God, I'm blanking now. There were several companies that came out with great stuff. It was just an explosion of creativity. And that's why Dragon Magazine never printed a negative review of anything, because I didn't have the room. There was so much good stuff I wanted to tell people about that I wasn't going to waste 2 column inches saying, oh, this sucks, because that was only my opinion.
Well, and that was a big part of what drove me and how I built everything that I was doing with D&D and gaming and all of that, is because I noticed there never was. There's like, I would read it and then go, well, there's no bitching. There's no, oh, they did this wrong or they did that wrong, or there's too much hair on their feet or whatever. It was great. We were always in that forward momentum of, and then this, and then this, and then this, and then she turns into an owlbear, and then did you see that guy fall down behind them when they were standing there watching? The owlbear ate the people, and then the guy just drops down behind him like, it's just classic.
Well, I mean, let's face it, D&D's always had an element that it's possible to survive a 100-foot fall on the jagged rocks.
Yep.
If you made your saving throw.
You got to make that save.
But it's possible. It might have been, you might have had to roll a nat 20. But if you did, you survived a fall 100 feet on the jagged rocks.
Yep.
And you could try it. That was the big thing about role-playing was, I don't know, give it a try.
Exactly. It's
try
like,
it.
Is that going to work? Yeah, so try it. Yeah, make your roll. If you don't, okay, then you don't. Well, yeah, it was great.
As long as the PM wasn't giving you too many of the, tell me again exactly what it was you were going to do. As
Yeah.
long as
Are you
don't
sure?
Yeah, as long as you didn't get too many of those, try it. And because in those early days it was all brand new, the sense of wonder and awe and excitement went right along with that. Oh, hell, give it a try. What have I
Yep.
got to lose?
No.
Because we weren't bound up psyche and soul with our player characters.
Yeah.
In the early days, we had a stable. We all had 5, 6, maybe 7 characters, all active and going in different parts of the campaign, different part of the continent, whatever. Some were healing and,
Yep.
weren't fit to go out. And so we never got so attached that we went into a deep funk or melancholy because Bruno the Butcher died. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll go get, and I did see one thing about this movie trailer, and that was a hope. Somebody made the comment that they hoped that somebody died right off the bat. They went around the corner, and there was his brother looking exactly wearing the same armor, and he's going to rejoin the group, and off you go, because that was so old school.
Yep.
Gary did it. I did it. We all did it. Rob did it. Dave did it. All of us. We all did it because we didn't want that poor bugger sitting at the table doing nothing. Of course,
Yep.
come on, keep playing. It was that kind of a keep playing. Come on, follow me.
Yep.
It
Yep.
was that type of game, and now it's become so serious and so metrically, meticulously confined.
Yeah. Some of it.
Strictured. Oh, you can't do this. You can't do that. Well, hell, we tried it. We did it.
Yeah.
I had, before there were thieves, I had a guy in my original group down in Carbondale, my unwitting playtesting group. Before there were thieves, this guy he made his agility rolls or his decks or whatever we called it back, decks. We called it back then. He always he always picked the luck. He always rolled what he needed. So as that kept happening, I started giving him pluses, and he ended up becoming the de facto thief of the group. Now I played a hobbit, and the guy was 6'1", but in the group he became our thief, and because he had shown previous skills, and it was before in fact, the thief class came from a guy from my original group, but that was before there was a thief. Now, of course, now I love it. They're calling them thieves, honor among thieves, not rogues.
Not rogues. I was going to mention that. I was like, they didn't say, I don't know what you would say. Honor among thieves, honor among rogues,
Well, nobody's
something. But yeah, they didn't call them that.
Well, and besides, honor among thieves is that a trope? It's been used and used and used again. It's an old thing. There is no honor among thieves, and that kind of thing. So why not take something like that that's already somewhere in the back of the subconscious and pull it out front as the title? Everybody understands.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's like, and I haven't seen anybody go off about, it's a single part. It's all just one class. Oh, how are they going to survive? They don't have a tank. They don't have a caster. They don't have a this and a that. And I'm going, well, yeah, we used to do that too. It's like, what if we were all fighters? Okay.
On my Wheel of Blame, there is no magic user pre-gen. They're not. There's 10 pre-gens. They get to pick whatever one they want, but there is no magic user. And when they start moaning about that, I said, because under the current rules, magic users have to pick their spells in advance, and I'm going to subconsciously know that, and it would be so easy that not a single thing you took with you worked.
Yep.
Or was applicable. Not worked, failed, but was useful in whatever situation I'm going to throw at you. And so they get over it real quick, and the nature of the game is they don't need a magic user. And I don't do clerics the way the rules state. Clerics don't cast spells. Clerics say prayers.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
And
we
they
had
say so many prayers in a given day of certain potencies. All right? Think of it as chapters in the missal. The old prayer book, right? They can say so many out of the first chapter, so many out of the second, a couple fewer out of the third, and only a couple out of the fourth, and maybe one out of the fifth.
Maybe one.
But they can. That's what they. And they don't have to pick them in advance
Mm-hmm.
because they know all the prayers. Unlike
got a
us
memory.
users who have to find or know all the spells, my clerics know the prayers. They got to know the prayers before they level up, and I just assume they do. So, I don't run campaigns anymore, so I don't worry about all that mechanical and bookkeeping crap. I run games that we have a lot of fun with. All my games sell out at the cons. In fact, I would originally ran them for more people, and I've been asked at a couple of cons, don't, because you suck off too many players out of the available time period. So I pared them down, and that was even back when I was still running regular adventures. And I'm grateful for that. That people want to play in my games, but I've not had a complaint yet, and I've had so many people go, well, that wasn't especially in the early days when I was doing this, certainly wasn't what I was expecting, but by God, it was fun.
Yep.
And that makes my day. They had fun. A metric I use is how many people ask if I'll sign the pre-gen sheet after the game is over.
Yep.
And it's almost always everybody.
That reminds me of when I was at VictoriaCon just a little bit ago, and I got to play Fight in the Skies with Mike Carr. And that was amazing, and he took me under his wing and showed me how to play. I was there, and I had an ace on my other side, and we were just playing, right? And as we were talking about before, the spirit of, I died, and I got chopped into pieces. People on the other side of the table shoot me, right? I get shot. And I'm like, what happened? Well, your aileron is busted, and your stuff doesn't work, and I'm like, well, I just shake my fist at him and say, I will get you next time, as my scarf flows in the wind. I was having a great time getting that shit shot out of me. I was blown away. It was I didn't die. That was really cool. But,
I played many times with Mike when he was in TSR. We used to have regular games over at his apartment, and we'd have as many as 8-9 people show up.
Oh, yeah. The whole table was full.
Well, one time we were wooing this guy from Australia who had some game titles that we were interested in buying the rights to publish in the States.
Mm-hmm.
So he was there one evening, and Mike invited him over. So we got over there, and Mike stuck him in the back seat. He gave me a 2-seater and stuck him in the back seat. First pass, he gets wounded. So I got no rear cutter. We spent the entire game getting away.
You're running away.
We did, and we managed to land safely.
Oh,
and
nice.
He theoretically climbed out of the back. We pulled him out of the back tub. And he told me, he says, for a game where I did absolutely nothing, I've never had that much fun.
Yeah.
And that's what Fight in the Skies can be. You know? And Fight in the Skies is a very early form of a limited form of role-playing game. You want to assume the personas of the pilot that you're flying, particularly if he has a few missions and you get some butt pluses.
Yeah.
Or if you get some kills and you get more pluses, you definitely want to assume. And then the next time you play, oh God, you got that rookie who's flying a piece of a string bag, piece of crap, and you get no breaks whatsoever. And you got to role play the pilot you have. You got to role play. You have to know the limitations of the plane you have, and you have to know the limitations of the pilot that you're flying it with. And so, for that reason, the game's replayable forever and ever and ever. I don't think it ever loses any fun. I'd like to play more than I do now.
Yeah, absolutely.
We don't have an active group. I've been trying for over a year to form a Yasta here in Cincinnati, and the store that we were going to run it in their game room is going out of business August 1st.
Ah, bummer.
So we're down to one game store again, and it's not a bad game store by any means, but they don't run games in the back room or whatever. So that's gonna leave a big hole. That's why I'm hoping one day I'll win the lottery and I'll go buy a building somewhere, put a hell of a security system in, and just make it available to play games in.
Oh, well, it's the days of the internet. You could go fund that, you could. I've seen some stuff go down.
Yeah, but you got to have the building, and that's the big expense that you got to figure out. That's what you got to do. But yeah, I could do but I'm not going to. I mean, I'm 73.
That's nothing. 73 is the new 40.
Yeah.
right? I mean, you're good to
You
go.
know, that's funny. I've never felt I really aged past about 48, except when I get up in the morning, except when I sit on the toilet, except when I stand up from 2 hours on the sofa. Yeah, and then I know I'm not 48 anymore.
Yeah, yep. It's
But I
like
look
if
in the
I'm,
mirror and I see that 48-year-old guy, except, how'd you get gray hair?
yeah. What did you do? You've been eating powdered donuts again. That's what happened. It just
Yeah, right.
went everywhere.
All right,
Well,
back to the movie.
yeah.
I'm really waiting. I don't think that this will be the only trailer.
No, this is just the opening. I'm sure
Right.
this is
I'm
just the
sure
first
there'll be
one. We're
more.
gonna get,
And
you
that
know,
means more people are going to go, what do they? And they're going to
well,
go,
that armor's not correct. Blah blah
Yeah.
blah. Or you know, he took too many actions in that scene.
I'm surprised nobody said anything about the horns in the Druid's head.
Well, that's a new race. I don't know. I'm not up on my 5e, but that's a
Well,
new.
I don't either, and I don't care.
Yeah, it doesn't matter to me because it's like we had that anyhow.
Well, and in my very old school, old fashioned opinion, it doesn't make that Druid any less attractive.
No.
And I get stoned for that comment.
No.
I've been pilloried before. So it's all right.
I think it's gonna be great. I was the first scene when I saw that dragon come through and just moan. I'm like,
Well, what I liked is you didn't see the dragon coming from a long way away. The dragon became visible in lethal range. That I thought was great. That was such a whoa! What just came out of the mist?
Yep.
And the swath of destruction and everything that got caught in it got, I was going to say toasted, but I guess that was chilled. I guess that was ice.
Was it ice or was it acid?
I thought it looked like it was ice because the horses galloped across it.
Okay.
Those guys in the cavalry was following the path of the.
Wouldn't that be a white dragon though? I mean, I could probably bring the video up and we'll look at it, but
Yeah. Okay. Now you're going to go. Oh, it should be a white dragon. Oh, stone the crows and stone the host.
Yeah.
In the same fit. Who cares? I never, ever followed the rules for what dragons did what.
Yeah.
Because I happen to like green dragons because I happen to like the color green. So I've had green dragons do a whole lot of different things than, was it acid? I'm not even sure what it is.
Yeah, I think greens would breathe acid. But yeah, I mean, you're right, because you're always going to get intermixing. You're going to get dragons doing this, dragons doing that. It's like looking at a dog and you go like, it's a quarter Great Dane and it's a quarter Pity and it's a quarter this. What is it? You could have dragons doing that. Why not? Maybe it looks perfectly green, breathes fire.
Well, before I started finding the rules that actually sanctioned the Druid becoming an owlbear, my first reaction to the complainers was, so what?
Yeah, so what?
Okay, they're a lycanthrope that got it. Not only is lycanthropy a curse, theirs had an extra little mustard on the side, so they're cursed to become an owlbear.
Yeah, exactly. They were chewed on by an owlbear.
I had a player in the original campaign who got bit by a bear.
Mm-hmm.
Got bit, caught it, and mastered it, because there were rules to overcome lycanthropy in the original game.
Mm-hmm.
He mastered it, and by God, by the time I left down there 14 months later, whatever, he was the baddest fighter in the group. He'd call me, take off his armor, become a cave bear, and just waste everybody in front of us, And like all good lycanthropes, when he changed back, he only had part of the damage.
Yep, because you're healing up. It's like crazy.
He some of it,
and that's one part that you just mentioned. He takes off his armor, and it's like, wait a minute. So she was fully clothed, owlbear, comes back fully clothed. So does that make it a spell? Because she's not just like, you don't see shreds of armor flying around.
Right. Yeah, not like Crazy Neil, one of the other guys in that original group, who got a polymorph self ring. So he went through 3 sets of really nice armor before he remembered to take it off. And then he ended up, I am the adventure of Dragon Spam. He ran into a 10-foot by 10-foot room and changed. And so Everybody's going, what happened to Neil? What happened to Neil? I said, you got a spoon? Open that door and you can have a scoop of Neil. He's, he's all he's all squoozed in there, and ooh, there's goo coming out underneath the door.
Oh my gosh! Oh, it's like those old when you take the Play-Doh and push it through the molds. You know,
Yeah,
back in the day,
yeah.
just it comes. It's
Well,
just
and-
sausage.
Back to her clothing. Okay,
Yeah.
It's now this other thing I saw, the Druids, some circles. I've got it somewhere saved on my desktop. It's a fully feasible, possible. Yada. Perhaps if I read that in detail, it allows for that. Maybe 5A doesn't go into the detail. Now, without giving too much of a bash on 5E,
Mm-hmm.
with some of the other liberties they've taken, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, my God, you got to damn near be run over by a garbage truck to die in 5E.
Yeah, it's gotten.
So why wouldn't you get your clothing back intact?
Yep.
All right. I like the fact that they weren't all heavily armored. They were dressed as thieves. A couple of them had swords. That's cool. Somebody I think I saw had a bow. That's cool. You know, thieves can carry all those sidearms. They aren't quite as proficient as a fighter, but you use them long enough, you get proficient enough to keep from dying.
True. Yep. They can hold their own for a little while until the fighter shows up, or until they can get away.
Yeah, they're not there to. They're not the heavy artillery.
Mm-mm.
They're
No,
the recon troops.
Exactly.
And, that's that. You know, if you had a thief in your group, he knew that he was going to be the one out front checking. But in my group, thief also always got extra experience assuming those risks.
We always had. I'll tell you real fast. It was amazing when we played D&D back in the day, and I had a buddy of mine, Dave. Hey, Dave, know you're watching. He had a fighter named Tank, and Tank had an 18 wisdom and a 3 intelligence. You know, and when we rolled up characters, if we got 3s, it's like we're gonna play this. This is gonna work. Do
We
fun
never
stuff.
thought about re-rolling.
It was awesome. Yeah, no.
You
So
played
Tank,
what you got.
yeah, and Tank,
Tell me.
exactly. Make it.
I won't
make
say
it work.
that I didn't see a few suicide by DM playing in Lake Geneva, particularly. You get rid of that character, I'll just go do something heroic, save the group, and get to roll up a new one next week.
Yeah, exactly. I jump in front and take the full blast of the dragon breath. Oh, I'm a hero. But
You're dead and charred, but you're a hero.
yeah, exactly. Tank hated thieves. A thief had stolen his candy money one time, and we had a thief in the party. It was a halfling, of course, and he goes in and so Tank's thing was thief find trap, and he pick up the halfling and throw him at whatever there was. And so my buddy Russ, he's playing the thief, and he's like, okay, you bounce off the chest, or you bounce off the door, you bounce off the wagon, thief find trap. Pwah! Throw him down a hallway. He'd roll down the hallway. It was great.
But to stop that, every time Tank did that, I'd give the thief a big EP bonus, experience point bonus, for having had that done to him.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we always did. Yeah, he would get...
And eventually you'd think Tank would go, wait a minute, I've helped this guy go up 2 levels. Well, I haven't even gone up 1 because I keep giving him extra. Eventually he'll stop doing that, or he won't care. But
he didn't overplay it.
Fine, I'll take the extra experience. Thank you.
Yeah, and he kept it down, so it was one of those fun things, like every couple of months, oh my gosh, I did it again. But yes, it wasn't overplayed. But I love that. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm right there with you. I cannot wait to bring
and I know who
Judy Mitz
I'll
in
go
there.
with. I know already. As soon as I saw it, I go, well, me and Wampler are going to go catch this. Because Jim and I, we've gone to the Doctor Strange and the Ant-Man and the Marvel movies that I'm interested in seeing, but we haven't gone to all the DC and the Thor and all the Justice League, and I'm not into that anymore.
Yeah.
So I don't go see those movies. But anybody wants to, fine. The comic book nerds are every bit as bad, if not worse, than gamer nerds about screaming about not being canon.
Oh yeah.
And,
Boy.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's this whole thing of I'm going to go to the movie and see what's wrong with it, as opposed to here's my money, give me my popcorn. Okay, what do we got?
Yeah,
and
exactly.
If I'm entertained, then
You did your job. You
Like
entertained me. Yeah.
like Maximus said, "Are you not entertained?"
Yeah.
I was entertained.
It was. Exactly.
and then that's good. I mean, there's been other movies, not this type, that I've gone to and go, oh shit, I wish I hadn't wasted that money.
Mm-hmm.
Not too many, because I don't go to a lot of movies. My wife and I don't go to a lot of movies, mainly because we can't agree on what we both want to see.
Well, you don't have like the chart where it's like, okay, we've seen this many of yours, now we're going to go see this many of mine.
We'll see.
I try to do that.
Well, something will come out we both want to see. Okay, yeah, we'll go see it.
Yep. That's pretty much where we're at now. And
And if
now,
it's something that I know she doesn't want to go see, and I can get Wampler to go see it with me, I'm golden.
yep, exactly. It's like, hey, let's go watch that. Well, I've had a wonderful time, Tim. This has been fantastic getting to talk to you and hear all of your thoughts.
Right, we've been talking this long.
It's been, yeah.
Holy cow! How long is this thing supposed to be?
And it's as long as we want it. It's D&D. We can do whatever we want.
Oh yeah, right. But how long do we actually expect the attention span of the average listener?
They probably checked. I don't know. I'm not going to say. But hopefully you all stayed for the whole time. It's been a fantastic time here with Tim. I hope that you all go and check out his Patreon, go and check out his show, go and check out his Kickstarters, because it's going to be fantastic. Remember that you can contact him, sign up for a Zoom game. It's going to be amazing. And, thank you very much.
Real easy to find on Facebook under Kaskoid.
Yes, Kaskoid.
Mm-hmm.
You go find him. Welcome, fellow adventurers. Today we have got a fantastic show scheduled for you, and this is here with... I am backing this up. All right.
I was going to say, boy, that's an edit already.
Yes. I usually get about 2 or 3 of them. All right.